Agreed. Yeah.
Let's talk about our boys, because if they were to play Italy right now, I'm confident saying that Canada would beat Italy. I know I said that they're a top 15, top 20 nation. Italy's probably man-to-man better than them still, but if they were to play right now, Canada would win. Italy would press. They wouldn't be able to score because they don't have the finishing, and then Canada would just punish them on the counterattack with all that pace, which is, what they did to the United States in that last game. But let's talk about this game. It was 36 years ago that they qualified. That scene in Moneyball when Brad Pitt is talking about the romanticism of baseball, there was just something very romantic about that soccer game yesterday, or shall I call it football game, whatever. Just watching Canada play against Jamaica with the crowd singing "Oh Canada" to ring in the final moments, with the snow blizzard happening around it. It was just so fitting. I woke up yesterday morning, looked outside, saw it snowing, and I was miserable. I'm like, why is it snowing still? And then I realized this is just perfect. This is perfect for this team. It was the perfect setting for them to qualify in that environment. My buddy went to the game. He said it was the coldest game he had ever been to. And you could sure seem like it because the wind was swirling like crazy. I'm just so proud. I'm very proud to be a Canadian, to think about. I've been a fan of Canada soccer and for my entire life, and I've dreamt about this moment and seeing all the failures upon embarrassing moments to come to this point where we not only squeaked in, but we've dominated and we are the best team in CONCACAF. It's a dream come true. Everything from now on, from this point on, is just gravy. Although I'm calling it right now, even before the groups come out on Friday, I think this team is going to make it to the knockout stages. They're that good.
Yep, I'll second that. I'm not as big as a fan as you are. All I can go by is recency, and watching the last, I'd say 8 to 10 games they've played that have been on TV, and I've been impressed. Well, and just only that, between that and watching some of the European games that they've put on TV too, and you're right, Joe. Like, it could be anybody's, depending on who they get the draw. Like, we went through that list before. If you tell me they can't play with the likes of, Japan or some of those South American teams, like I don't know, like Uruguay or Ecuador or whoever, who's made it, there's a realistic chance that they could do some damage, right? And again, as a casual fan, you couldn't help but not change the channel. Like it was, they were killing Jamaica, but you wanted to see more. They weren't stopping. They have a work ethic to them that is incredible. And you know what the best thing about that is? That carried over from the match against Costa Rica when they were down a guy. Relentless, bang, bang, bang. They didn't stop.
And they were a man down.
And not only that, we don't know what condition he's going to be in. But when Davies gets back, a motivated Davies, I don't know.
Yep. I don't know. That's what they did this. In half their games, they played it without their best player.
Yep.
It makes it even more impressive.
Yep.
Well, it was definitely a huge win for Canadian soccer and soccer in Canada. I think this will push kids even further into the game of soccer. So big win for the Canadians. I was outside in the down by the marina yesterday, and I was outside for maybe about a minute and a half, and I think I almost had frostbite on my face. And within that moment, I said, Jamaica's got no chance today.
No chance. Yeah.
None. They were out. They came here just for a nice trip, hop on a plane, let's go play a soccer game. But at no point, the second that game started, it was like, it's over. It was done. It was freezing. The Jamaican uniforms, by the way, I think are with the yellow socks. I love them. I think it's the best uniform in CONCACAF. But they were just, they were fighting a battle that they were not going to win. But can Canada do damage to the World Cup? Of course. I mean, we saw Greece win a Euro Cup when I didn't think they were a top 10 team in that tournament. So anything can happen. I still wonder. I want to see them against teams that are not in the CONCACAF. I want to see them I'd love to see them actually against Uruguay to see what they do against maybe not that upper echelon team, but that secondary team. I want to see if they can slot into that second under the big dogs. We know the teams. I don't have to name them, But that second tier, can Canada be in there? Maybe. I wonder if they're going to be hurt by the lack of depth, because I really like, obviously, Alfonso Davies is fantastic. Eustavio, whatever his name is. He's
Stefan Eustaquio. Yeah.
Eustaquio. He's a nice midfielder. I've really come to like Buchanan. I think he's very good. And
Eustaquio is more than nice. He is like a key cog on this team.
Yeah, he was good, and that was a great pass to set up Kyle Lauren in the first game. But I want to see them against kind of better talent, because I think we can all agree CONCACAF. I think this is one of the worst years CONCACAF is having, and I'm not saying that Canada qualified because CONCACAF was down. I'm saying I don't know how great Canada is, given the fact that they haven't really played a great team yet. Like Mexico and US, I don't buy them for 1 second being anywhere near good enough to even get out of their groups. Can Canada get out of their group? Maybe.
Some people think that this United States team is the best team that they've ever had.
No,
it's their golden generation as well. Dude, they have players playing for Juventus, Barcelona. They have a really strong team as well. I agree, they're not in that upper echelon yet, but I think Canada is in that second tier. I know they have to prove it, and it'll be interesting to see who they get drawn on Friday. But this next game against Panama, some people think it's a nothing game. They could just go there and play all their subs. It actually means something, because if the more wins that they get and they can accumulate more points in the FIFA rankings, they could potentially get into pot 3, which would then give them an easier group in the World Cup. So I think they're going to go with the same mindset that they've had these last couple games. They're going to go there. They're going to attack. They're going to play a really strong lineup, and they're going there to win. And Panama has a lot to play for as well. Their qualification is on the line as well. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
I don't think if you're Qatar, and we know, I hate to say this, but FIFA, they're not on the level. I mean, they're setting up the group for Qatar. I don't know if Canada finds their way into that group. And if Canada does not find their way in that group, there's a chance you land in a group with one of the big dogs, one of the top 8 countries in the world. Then you get maybe a Portugal. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden we're talking about it's going to be a tougher road. So a lot of this has to do with groups, grouping. Can Canada win? Let's see what they land with in the group. Hopefully they get a good draw. I wonder how much the ratings are going to do, given that it's a winter World Cup, and the fact that the World Cup is in the summer when there's nothing going on. I know the ratings in Canada are obviously going to be high, but
massive. They're going to be huge.
Yesterday
had 1.67 million people watching it, which is huge for soccer.
I just wonder, given that there's going to be all these sports going on, I won't be as tuned into the World Cup as I would be if it was in the summer, kind of isolated by itself against, no competition as in baseball. So I wonder what the ratings are going to look like. But in Canada, they should be, quite substantial.
Indeed. I shout out to John Herdman, because when he was named the coach of this team, a lot of people had questions. He had come over from the women's side. The guy's just a leader, and he knows how to motivate, and he's a good tactician as well. They've changed their formation a bunch of times. Credit goes to him. I remember the day he was hired, I believe he went on the Tim and Sid show, and he spoke with such conviction. Like, yeah, I know that we have the World Cup in 2026, but we're going to qualify in 2022. And it made you believe him. And he's done just such a remarkable job with this Canadian team. And now generations, I think Canada soccer will benefit from this qualification for generations to come. We're only going to get better. I hope and pray, but this is an awesome day for soccer in this country. All right, boys, you want to take a little break?